Let's talk about something fundamental. Where does an advisor's real value come from? For a long, long time, we've all been told the answer is knowledge. But, as we're about to see, that whole idea is starting to crumble.
You know, this is the core belief in our industry, right? This idea that our value, our alpha, is all about knowing more than the next person, having more data, better insights, more complicated charts.
Here's the thing. That belief, it's just plain wrong, especially in the moments that really matter, when everything's on the line. Intellectual knowledge isn't what forges that unshakable trust.
See, trust isn't really built when the market's calm and everyone's happy. It's revealed when things get noisy and chaotic. And that's precisely when the old approach of just knowing more completely falls apart.
I mean, just think about the world you're operating in right now. You've got markets moving at lightning speed. You've got AI just throwing a fire hose of opinions and data at us, which doesn't always mean more clarity. Then you've got these screaming headlines engineered to create fear. And guess who feels all of that? Yep, our clients.
And in those exact moments of pressure, what we call intellectual alpha pretty much goes to zero. It just collapses. When a client is truly anxious, your predictions, your tech jargon, your complex comparisons, it's all just more noise. It doesn't calm them down. A lot of the time, it actually makes things so much worse.
Okay, so if trying to impress everyone with your big brain doesn't work when the pressure's on, what does? Well, it means we need to shift our focus completely. We need to move away from what we know and toward what we can provide.
And the difference is, well, it's night and day. Look, clients don't need another forecast about AI or some jargon-filled lecture. What they actually need is clarity. They need to feel ownership over their decisions. They need to see a process that's clear and that you stick to. And most of all, they need you to set firm boundaries that protect them from making disastrous emotional decisions.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Our job isn't to put on a show and be impressive. It's to be a shield. It's to provide that behavioral protection when the client is struggling to hold it together.
But that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You can't just hand stability over to a client if you don't have it yourself. So where does this protection, this stability, actually come from?
Well, it comes from somewhere deeper. It's a layer that most of the frameworks out there just completely ignore. It comes from the advisor's own internal operating system, your source code. And this is what we're calling Advisor Alpha. Now listen to the words here. Trained, self-command, and discipline. This isn't about being smart or naturally calm. No. This is a practiced, regulated state that you can count on when everything gets volatile. It's a skill.
So here's the bottom line, and this is so important. You cannot export calm to a client if you are importing anxiety from the market. It just doesn't work. The client's behavior is in so many ways a direct reflection of yours. Your steadiness has to come first. It's the non-negotiable prerequisite.
All right, so let's make this super practical. How does this play out in the real world? A lot of you have probably seen different frameworks for building trust, but I want us to look at a really common one through this brand new lens of Advisor Alpha.
You've probably seen this before, right? The classic 5-step framework. Most advisors look at this and think, oh, great, a script, something I can follow in my next client meeting. But that is totally missing the point.
Because here's the twist. This isn't a roadmap for your client. It's a mirror for you. Think of it like a diagnostic tool, a stress test, to see if your own Advisor Alpha is actually installed and running properly.
So the real test isn't if you can read the steps. It's this. When the pressure's on and a client is panicking, can you actually do these things? Can you start the conversation with what's relevant to them, not your new tech? Can you translate risk without adding to the drama? Can you clearly show your process? And maybe the hardest one of all, can you stay accountable even when the outcome isn't what anyone wanted? Because if you can't, no framework in the world is going to save you.
You see, this brings us to a much stronger, much more realistic definition of what trust even is. It's got nothing to do with what you say when times are good. It's all about what you embody when times are bad.
Because let's face it, brilliance is fragile. Brilliance can be wrong. It can be confusing. But things like steadiness, discipline, a clear process, those things hold. They're like an anchor in a storm, and that is what clients are actually buying from you.
So let's bring it all home to this one crucial point. The real alpha, the value that lasts through market crashes and whatever new technology comes next, it isn't the information you've got stored in your head. It's the disciplined behavior that holds steady when it's under fire.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Stop chasing more information than next hot tip. Start training your discipline. Own your behavior first. Because I promise you,
everything you want for your clients and for your business, it all follows from that.